Good morning, class. Yes, you are listening to Wasa PLAR History and Geography course. My name is Jonathan. Again, I am a teacher for this course. Very, very exciting today. Today is our last class. That is right. Today is our last and final class for PLAR History and Geography for this term, for term 1A. Okay, so today is our last class. We'll be wrapping things up. I'm gonna quickly go over what we talked about last class about latitude and longitude, and then today I will wrap things up by talking about your expectation and what I'm looking for when you're writing your tests for PLAR history and geography. I got some sample questions that we'll be going over to give you a sense and an idea of what to expect for when you're writing your tests, and I will answer any questions you may have today. Again, please continue to work on those assignments. Yes, even though today is the last class, and even though this is week 9 and the last week for term 1A, please continue to work on those assignments. Even though you may not be done, your goal is to be done. Okay, so please continue to work on it. If you're unable to finish PLAR history and geography assignments for this term, that is okay. Don't be discouraged. Don't feel bad. That's okay. But please continue to work on it. Remember that I'm here to help. If you're working on more than one courses at a time, please finish up at least one of them. Okay. Some of you may be working on other PLAR subjects as well. Um, but please continue to finish at least one. That way, next week we can make you write the test so that you can get your credit and continue with your academic studies and such. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. This is Wasa PLAR History Geography. Again, just remember if you want to call and participate, you can call 1-800-465-7144. That is 1-800-465-7144 if you want to call in and listen. Again, you can call me at the Wasa office. Again, my extension is 2221. You can email me at jho@nnec.on.ca if you have any questions. Feel free to find me on my Facebook page at jhowasa. Okay, you can add me as a friend. You can keep in touch that way. And again, all my previous lessons and my old lessons can be found on my YouTube channel at jhowasa. Okay, you can go back and look at all my old lessons. Um, if you're missing anything, you want to check out that lesson again, it's all there on my YouTube channel. You can also go to the NNEC website page on the home page and click on a tab at the very top. You'll scroll down and see archives, and you'll find old previous lessons as well from all different subjects. Again, you can find my lesson there as well. You can download that file. It's an MP3 file. You can't see my videos on my screen, but you can definitely listen and hear all my lessons again. Okay? Again, if you have any questions, any concerns, comments, please let me know as we wrap things up today. Okay? So yes, this is our last class. Again, we monitor for all new students wanting to take the Bridget online course. Make sure you are registered by tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow, November 6th, so that you're in our system so that we know you're active. Okay, if you're a current PLAR students, I believe you do not need to register again as you will not be withdrawn as you're already in the system. Okay, but for I believe brand new students, so again, get your friends, your family members, your community members, if they want to take PLAR or any other subjects or courses that we offer here at WASA, make sure they are registered by tomorrow. Okay, that's tomorrow, November 6th. Deadline to be registered for next term, term 1B. Okay? Okay. So last class on Tuesday, we talked about latitude and longitude. Okay? This is our very last lesson. Again, we use latitude and longitude to find a specific particular location on Earth. Again, as you may know, our planet Earth is huge, big, and massive. Has many countries, continents, bodies, waters, etc. But if we want to locate a specific exact location, we have to use latitude and longitude. Okay. Again, we're using our math skills. Okay. We're integrating other subjects into history and geography. Okay. So we use a grid system with coordinates, as you recall. Okay. A grid system, a grid. Okay. So kind of like a chart paper or graph paper in a sense. It has coordinates. So you have, for example, just like in math, you have your y-axis, which is your vertical line up and down, and you also have your x-axis that goes left to right, east to west across the page. That helps us locate a particular point. Okay, so we use the same system, just like in math. Uh, we use it again to use for latitude and longitude. Okay. Good morning, Ruth. Thank you again for joining in and listening to my lesson here. Uh, Again, Ruth, if you have any questions at any time, please let me know. Again, thank you so much for participating and coming to class this morning on Thursday. Okay, so again, latitude and longitude. Again, for latitude, the line that goes straight across is called the equator. Okay, very middle is called the equator. For longitude, the line that goes in the middle, up and down vertically, is known as the prime meridian. Okay, two fancy words, two fancy terminology that helps us understand latitude and longitude. Okay. Yeah, this is all review materials. We had covered this last class. Again, you want more details about latitude and longitude, you can check out my lessons on from last Tuesday. Okay. But again, I'm just gonna quickly go over what we covered. Can latitude are lines that goes east to west. They are parallel to each other. They are equal distance. Okay. They measure the distance, how far you are away from the equator. Okay. So if you go north, all the way north, then if you go below the equator, you're going south. Okay, so north and south. Okay, but latitude lines go east and west across the globe. Okay, these are imaginary lines that help us locate a particular point on the Earth. Okay. Um, yes, and we talked about the northern hemisphere, and then above the equator, southern hemisphere, and then below the equator. Eastern hemisphere is anything on the right side of the prime meridian, and the western hemisphere, which is where we're located, is anything left of the prime meridian. Again, longitude, okay, these are not parallel lines, okay, they meet and they converge at the North Pole or the South Pole. These are lines that run north and south, okay, they measure how far away you are in terms of the prime meridian. Okay, so these lines, even they go north and south, they measure how far away you are from the prime meridian. So again, anything on the left-hand side of the prime meridian, we're going west. And then on the right-hand side of the prime meridian, we're going east. Okay, so remember your coordinates and your directions, so north, east, south, west. Again, just to recap on my little summary of what latitude and longitude is. Again, latitude measures how far you are north or south of the equator. These lines are parallel, which means that they are equal distance from one another. They run east to west. And how I would like to remember is that I remember lats for flats. Okay, so flat lines for latitude. Okay. And for longitude, longitude measures how far you are east or west of the prime meridian. Okay, and they start and meet at the poles, so North Pole or South Pole, and they run north to south. Okay. Are there any questions about latitude and longitude? Again, this is all review materials of what we talked about last class. Again, your last assignment, assignment 16, deals with looking at latitude and longitude, how we write them. Remember, we write them by using latitude first. So we write latitude first. Okay, we write either north or south. Then we write followed by longitude, which is measuring east or west. Okay? Yes, so we got assignment 16 again, is multiple choice, pretty straightforward. And we got fill in a blank question for assignment 16. Okay, so again, if you have any difficulty with any assignments, not just assignment 16, it could be the history assignments or geography assignments. Again, please finish them up as we wrap things up this week. So I'd like all my students who are eligible to write their test to write their test next week. Okay. Okay. So yes, PLARHG history and geography. Yes, today is our last class for this course, for this term. Very exciting. We have been together for 9 weeks now. Everyone has done great. There's no problem with any assignments. Um, so again, this is the last class today. Very exciting. Reminder, friendly reminder, term 1B starts in 2 weeks time. Okay, term 1B, your next term, if you're continuing or if you're new students, starts the week of November 16th, okay, which is 2 weeks from today. Okay, so reminder, there are no classes next week. Okay, so Monday to Friday of next week, there are no classes as it's our midweek here at WASA. Okay, so yes, this is our last day for classes in terms of 1A. So one term 1B starts in 2 weeks time, the week of November 16th. Okay. Just an announcement. For all my current or new or continuing PLARHG history and geography students. Okay. So for term 1B next term, PLARHG history and geography will have a new time. We have a new time slot. Okay, we'll still be here. I will still be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, I'll still be here, same days, Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I have a new time slot. Okay, new time slot. So my new time slot will be at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Another 1 hour session, Central Time, next term. Okay, I'll be going over the same content, same materials, maybe just changing things slightly a little bit. But yes, same week, same time. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, but our new time slot. Okay, so if you're Central time zone, we will be starting at 8 p.m. in the evening or nighttime. Okay, so 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, so I'll be running the same course, same content next term in the evening or at nighttime. Okay, so that's 8 to 9 Central Time. If you're on the Eastern Time Zone, that's pretty late. I believe that's 9 till 10. Okay, so again, it just gives students the opportunity, if you're available in the evening or nighttime, want to take PLARHG history or in geography, you can. But again, I'm still here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will always be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But for term 1B, I'll be here in the evening and nighttime, 8 to 9 p.m. Central Time. Okay? So again, that's all for my current students who are continuing. New students for PLARHG history and geography. Again, I just have a new time slot. But I'll still be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay. So again, I look forward to seeing current students who have not finished, and I look forward to seeing new students as well. All right, let's get to the fun stuff. So let's talk about the tests. Let's talk about the tests. Some of us have already wrote both sections of the test, which is fantastic, which means that you're done this section of PLAR. Remember, there are 4 components of PLAR. There's the English component, math, science, and my section, which is the history and geography section. Okay, so remember, if you need all 4 components, need to complete all 4 subjects. Okay. Again, like I said, some of us have already wrote in both sections of PLAR history and geography, which is fantastic, which means that you're done this portion, which is great. Some of us have already wrote 1/2 of PLAR history and geography, so you may already wrote your history test, but you still need to write your geography test. And some of us need to write both tests, which is okay too, so our history and geography test. Yes, even though this is PLAR history and geography, okay, we're combining 2 academic discipline or subjects together. There are 2 separate tests, okay, but they're still the same course. Still the same course. So how the test works for PLAR history and geography. It is a 2-hour closed book test. Okay, so if you're writing both sections at the same time, it is 2 hours. You have 2 hours uninterrupted time to write the test. Okay. However, if you're writing just one of the tests, you have an hour. Okay. Keep that in mind. So again, if you're writing both sections at the same time, you have 2 hours. Okay, lots of time. Again, these tests, if you know your materials and content, should not take you 2 hours to write it, but you do have 2 hours to write it. Okay, so how it works that you'll be writing your test at the Learning Center. It will be supervised by your DEC. Okay, so all exams or tests are written at the Learning Center. Your DEC will supervise. Okay. There's no notes allowed. Okay, it's no cheating. Okay, you cannot also use your mobile devices. Okay, so you can't Google the answer on your smartphone or your tablet or Google something. Okay, this is a closed book. Okay, so again, you shouldn't even need your devices and your notes. Okay, it's pretty straightforward test. Um, it's a pass or fail situation. Okay, pass or fail situation. Don't be scared now. So what that means is that all you need to pass, in order to pass or to be successfully complete the PLAR history and geography test, is that you need 50% or higher. Okay, so you can either get 50% on the dot or anything higher than 50% in order to pass. Okay, so again, pass or fail situation, anything higher than 50% means you have completed the test. Okay, however, if you are unsuccessful in completing the test, that's okay. You have a second chance. Okay, so don't be upset and discouraged and oh, I failed that test. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. You do have a second chance, a second opportunity to write the test again. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But however, I want all my students to be successful, and there shouldn't be any problems. Everyone should be able to successfully complete and pass their tests and or the exams on their first try. Okay? If worst comes to worst, don't worry, there is a second chance too. Okay? Questions about the PLAR history and geography test? Okay, reminder, it's a 2 hours closed book test. You have 2 hours, supervised by your DEC. You have to write your exam or your test at the Learning Center, and you cannot use your notes or mobile devices. Okay, so how it works is that once all your assignments are completed, so reminder that lesson 1, 2, 3 is history. Okay, these are assignment 1 to 8 needs to be done. And then lesson 4 5 is the geography portion, geo, and their assignments, 9 to 16. Okay, remember, all these assignment needs to be done, needs to be completed. All question needs to be attempted or tried at least. And once I feel that everything's good and I feel that you're confident in the materials, you can then set up a time and a date with your DEC. So make sure you talk it over with your DEC so when they are available or when they can supervise your tests. Let me know in advance, then I can either email the test to DEC or I can fax over the test to the DEC and they can print it off and they can have it ready for you when you write the exam or test. Okay, but yeah, make sure all assignments needs to be done, completed, all questions need to be attempted. Okay, if there's any problems, I will let you know or I'll indicate it on the tests, on the assignments. You can redo them, resubmit them to me. I will remark it, and then we'll be good to go. Okay? Again, any questions about your PLARHG history and geography tests and how it's conducted? Again, my goal is that I want all of my students who are eligible to write the test to be writing it next week. Okay? All right. Like I promised, we are going to go over some sample questions. Okay? So these are sample questions. These are not the exact questions on your tests. These are just an example. Okay, again, if you want a copy of the sample exam or test, let me know. I can give that to you, provide it to you so that you can practice. Okay? But again, the test is very, very straightforward. No surprises. If you have taken the time, did all your assignments, understood the materials, you will do extremely well on your exam, on your test. Okay, there are no surprises. Okay? Alright, let's go over some of the sample questions or some questions that you can look forward to or expect or the format what to see for the PLARHG history and geography exam and test. Okay, again, just remind this is a sample. Okay, just a sample. So, like I mentioned, this is PLARHG history and geography, which means that there are two separate tests that needs to be completed if you need it. Sorry, there are two separate tests for the history and geography. Both sections needs to be completed in order to receive this credit. Again, reminder: some students may only need one half of the PLARHG history and geography, so you may just need your history credit, or you may just need your geography credit, or you may need both. Okay, so depending on what you need or what you have completed, will allow you to be eligible to write which portion of the test. Okay. So how the test works, there are three different versions of the test: version A, version B, and version C. Okay, so there's three different versions of the test. Again, they're just given out randomly. Okay, so I can give you either version A or version C. Okay, it doesn't matter. All the materials are the same. They're just slightly different questions. Okay, so actually note here, it says, read this article and answer the following questions that follow. Okay, so what you need to do once you're writing a test is that you need to read the article, read the content, read the material that is provided. You can highlight it, you can underline it, and then you will need to answer the questions that follow. Okay, so again, it's the same format for both. So again, it's broken into sections. So as you know, it says some causes of the Great Depression. Okay, again, subsection, the stock market crash. Okay, so what you have to do is that Again, you'll need to go through, read the paragraphs, read the article, read the material. Okay, make sure we understand it. We can circle things, highlight things. Okay, so you're gonna read it, understand it, and then you can answer the question that follows. Okay, all the materials, all the articles are the same content that we talked about throughout the course. Okay, and make sure you go back, take some time, go over your assignments, review the materials. Okay, so that we have a good understanding. Okay, we gotta study. Okay, you can't just go into an exam or test without studying. Okay, so make sure you spend some time, study, so that we're well prepared. Again, you'll see another section. It talks about falling wheat prices, for example. Again, you'll read that section. You're going to answer the question that follows. Again, you got another paragraph. All the answers are in here in the article. Okay, again, there's no surprises. All the answers and all the materials are provided. Okay, again, we got the drought. You read that section, for example. Okay, you read about grasshoppers again, about farming. Okay, so again, you're gonna read the article and material that was provided. Okay, and then you're gonna answer the question that follows. So, for example, some questions that may be asked or could be asked can be, for example, one, when did the New York stock market crash? Okay, there were lines provided and space provided. Okay, question number two, by 1929, what three countries produce almost as much wheat as Canada? Okay, so I'm looking for three different countries. Again, please write in full, complete sentences. Okay, no surprises here. Question number three, for example, how did grasshoppers contribute to the Great Depression? How did the grasshoppers contribute to the Great Depression? Okay, and question number four, for example, you have just learned about four causes of the Great Depression. Which one, okay, which one do you think was the most significant cause? Be sure to explain your answer. Okay, so in the article, there are four examples given. You are to pick one that you think is the most significant or most important cause to the Great Depression, then explain why. Okay, then explain why. Okay, so for example, some answers that are acceptable can be the New York stock market crash in October 1929. Note that is in full, complete sentences. Okay. Okay, and three countries which produce as much wheat as Canada were Argentina, Australia, USSR. Okay, all these are in your article. The grasshopper damaged a great number of crops. They were able to destroy crops in a matter of minutes. Again, detailed, full, complete sentences. Question 4. Student must provide a well-supported answer which advance a reasonable opinion as to what was the significant cause. Okay, so you're gonna support your answers, okay? So use the materials, use the content in the article to support your answer. So I think this was the most important significant cause to the Great Depression because it did this, it did this, this happened, this change. That is why I think it was the most significant cause. Okay? Again, details, details, details. Be clear in order to receive full marks. Okay? Again, the geography section, same thing. You are to read the article or the section. Okay, in this case, we're talking about water pollution. You are to read this section. Okay, and then you are to answer the following question that follows. So, for example, what percentage of water does Canada have in respect to the rest of the world? Okay, so what percentage? of water does Canada have in respect to the rest of the world? Again, the answers are in the articles. Example, boom, right here, 10%. Okay, and then you just need to write down full complete sentences. Into which oceans do Canada's rivers drain? Okay, Canada's drainage system follows in 3 oceans. So Pacific, Arctic, and Atlantic. Boom, that's the answer for number 2 right there. Okay, again, all the answers are in the articles, are in the reading materials. Okay, describe in your own word the term water's edge. Again, okay, so there's some opinion questions. Okay. Again, some answers are acceptable. Again, full complete sentences. Um, okay. Are there any questions about the PLARHG history and geography exam and tests? Anything we're unsure of? Again, these are just some sample questions. Okay. You won't necessarily see these questions on your exam, on your tests, but these are just some examples. Again, if you want a copy of the sample tests, please let me know so that you can, if you want some practices. Again, all the materials on your exam, on your test, are materials that we have talked about throughout the term, throughout the course. Okay? So you won't be seeing questions about, something out of the blue. Okay? It's all materials that we have covered and talked about. Okay? No surprises here. So pretty straightforward. Again, okay, you have to read the article, read the passage, read the material that's provided, then answer the following questions that provide. Okay? The same, very, very similar to your assignments. Okay, so before I continue, I just want to point out that since we don't have class next week we have a very important date. So next Wednesday, even though we don't have class and we're not together, um, some of us may notice that some people are walking around wearing a poppy. Okay, on their chest, on their shirt, on their jacket. So next Wednesday is November 11th. November 11th, also known as Remembrance Day. Remembrance Day. Remembrance Day. Does anyone know why November 11th, Remembrance Day, is a significant day in history? Does anyone remember? We talked about it way back at the beginning of the course in our history section, near the end, or the World War One section, Remembrance Day. So next Wednesday is November 11th, which is also known as Remembrance Day, which is very, very significant because on November 11th, 1918, marked the end of the First World War One. Okay? As a result, people around the world, Canadians, we take this time, especially on November 11th at the 11th hour, so 11th a.m. in the morning. Many Canadians, people around the world, take this time to reflect, to think about, and to thank all the men, all the women, all the soldiers, and all the people who are involved, um, and thank their services for helping protect our beautiful country of Canada. So again, it's not just necessarily World War One that we're thinking about, but again, it could be World War Two and all the other battles. Again, just marks a day of remembrance and a day of thanks. So again, every year on November 11th at the 11th hour. We take the time to bow our heads and to think and to reflect. So that's why you see people walking around with poppies on their shirts, on their jackets, because of November 11th, at the 11th hour, at the 11th day, at the 11th month, uh, marked in 1918, marked the ending of the First World War. Okay? I just want to point that out. Again, it's significant. It relates to what we talked about in terms of PLAR history and our Canada's contribution to World War One. So I thought I just wanted to point that out, even though we don't have class next week and on Wednesday. So I just wanted to point that out. Okay. Questions? Anything? Comments about Remembrance Day? Again, just a reminder, there are no classes next week. Today is our last class, last day for term 1A. Even though we don't have classes next week running here at Wassa and Sulico, all the teachers are still in their office. So again, at any times, you need to get a hold of any teacher or myself. We're in the office. So again, please, if you have any difficulties with your PLAR history and geography assignments, give me a call, send me an email, Facebook me, okay? I'm here to help because I want you to finish. Okay, I want you to finish so that you can write your tests as soon as possible. Okay, as soon as possible. Okay? Again, just a reminder, term 1B starts in 2 weeks' time, the week of November 16th. I will still be here on Tuesdays, on Thursdays. We'll be doing PLAR history and geography all over again, but at a new time slot at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time. Okay? So I'm going to leave it at that for now. So again, does anyone have any questions at the moment? Again, shout them out, type them out, write them on my smartboard screen. Um, I'm here to help right now. Ruth, I know that you're online right now, Ruth, from Big Trout. Can you hear me, Ruth? Ruth, do you have any questions at the moment, Ruth? I know that, Ruth, you're currently working on your geography assignments. Um, are there any questions?
Hello?
Yes. This
Oh,
Ruth?
yeah.
Perfect. Yes, I can hear you now. Yes, excellent. Ruth, do you have any questions, any concerns, anything that you want to ask in terms of your assignments, anything in terms of PLAR history and geography at the moment?
Um, I still have quite a bit to do.
Okay.
Um,
Which assignments are you currently working on right now?
I'm on 14,
Perfect. Great.
but I skipped some stuff I didn't understand.
Okay. Um, well, let's take some time now and let's go over some questions that you didn't understand or understood. And I will help you right now since I'm on the line and you're on the line.
Um,
Again, 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 class, this is our last week, and I want to make sure that everyone's caught up. Um, I'm here to help right now, so again, if you want to ask any questions, please let me know. So again, thank you, Ruth, for participating in class today. Again, which question and which assignment do you need help with at the moment?
um, there's 2 on assignment 11.
Assignment 11, okay. Okay, and assignment 11 is a pretty short assignment. So 9 marks, it's only 4 questions. So which question on assignment 11 do we need help with?
Why do you think Canada has so many climates?
Okay, all right. Excellent. Good question. Good question. So why do you think Canada has so many climates? So again, as you may know, Canada is a very big, diverse countries with different provinces, different regions. So again, we have, again, it's cold. We have winter, summer, spring, fall, all 4 seasons, different areas. So why do you think Canada has so many climates? So why do you think different regions in Canada may experience different climate? So for example, why does northwestern Ontario is a lot colder compared to southern Ontario, for example? Why does it snow or why is it always cold up in the Arctic compared to down here? If that kind of makes sense?
Yeah.
So it's like it's basically your opinion question. So basically, why do you think Canada has so many climates? Again, you can use details provided in the textbook. Again, why does Canada have so much snow in the winter time? Why is it always hot here? Okay, so just give some examples. Why do you think Canada has so many different climates? Okay, so again, like we talked about, it varies in terms of temperature, in terms of where you live. Okay, it could be raining on the east coast, raining on the west coast. It could be hot, could be cold. Um, Again, it just basically what I just talked about. Okay, so Canada is hot in summertime, cold and wet in the wintertime. Okay, different seasons, different regions. Okay, so different climates. Does that make sense for question number 4 on assignment 11, Ruth?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Again, if that doesn't make sense or you're still confused or anything, please let me know and I will do my best to help you out and rephrase that question. So which other question on assignment 11 do you need help with?
No, it's the first one on 12.
First question on assignment 12?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, so question number 1 on assignment 12 asks, why is the Canadian Shield considered Canada's stone house of metallic minerals? Okay, so I'm gonna flip through the textbook. So Ruth, do you have your textbook in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I need you to turn to page page 39 on your textbook or in your textbook. So question number 1 on assignment 12, the answer is on page 39 near the bottom where it says Canadian Shield. Okay, so again, skim through that paragraph again very closely. The answer is in that paragraph on page 39 near the bottom. Okay, so why is Canada considered Canada's stone house of metallic minerals? So Ken, what's unique about the Canadian Shield? What does the Canadian Shield have? What does it produce? Okay, so some examples could be what type of metal, what type of minerals does the Canadian Shield provide and produce? Okay, so for that answer, for that question, it's on page 39 in your textbook under the subsection of Canadian Shield, very bottom near that paragraph. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Again, you can do that question right now. I can make sure that you're on the right track. But that question's on page 39. Okay?
Okay.
Anything else, Ruth? Any other questions right now? Anything else that you can't find the answer or not sure of? I can point you in the right direction. I can tell you which page number the answers are on. Why are we here? While we have a few minutes left on the line.
No, I think I'm good.
Think you're good?
When's the latest I can hand in my assignment?
As soon as possible would be great. So even though today is the last class for term 1A, if you can finish it by tomorrow, for example, if you can, that's great. Then you
Okay.
can write your exam or write your test sometime next week. But if you can't, again, don't rush it. Take your time, do a good job on it. If you finish it at the beginning of next week, that's great. Get them to me. You can email them to me. You can fax them to me. You can get them to your DEC. They can scan it, give it to me. If you can't, you can use your smartphone, for example. Take a picture of your assignment, email it to me, Facebook it to me, okay? And then I'll mark it.
Okay.
Okay. But you said you're on assignment 14, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. So again, assignment 14, pretty straightforward one. Assignment 15 is a much longer one, which may needs more time. Then we got assignment 16. That's great, Ruth. You're doing a fantastic job so far. I believe you have already finished your PLARHG history section,
Yeah.
which is great. So again, once the geography portion is done, once the assignments are done, again, continue to work on it, spend some time on it. Again, once it's all done and completed, send them to me, and then I will mark it. I'll give you feedback, and hopefully by sometime next week or near the end of next week, you can write your PLARHG geography tests, and it will be done.
Okay.
Okay. Again, class, if anyone else have any questions at the moment, please let me know. I'll be here for next couple more minutes. Okay, so again, if you're unable to participate online today in class, that's okay. Reminder, just send me an email, give me a shout, give me a call. In my office again, and just a reminder, my extension is 2221. Okay, I'll pull up the study guide sheet again. That way you can see my contact info. Okay. Again, reminder, this is the last class for term 1AB for PLARHG History and Geography. Again, we'll be starting term 1B in 2 weeks' time. We'll be doing it all over again. Okay. And if you're a brand new student, please make sure you register by tomorrow, Friday, November 6th. Okay, so again, I encourage you to invite your friends, your family members, your community members. If they need to complete the high school diploma and earn some credits, again, make sure they're registered. Um, it has been a great 9 weeks here. So again, I want to thank everyone who have been coming to class, who have been participating. Thank you so much. I know it's Tuesdays and Thursdays morning can be rough and tough sometimes, but again, I want to thank everyone who have been coming to class, participating on a regular basis. So thank you so much. All those communities who have called in. Thank you to all the DC again. It has been great. Okay, again, you can email me at jho@nnec.on.ca. Again, you can find me on my Facebook page, on my YouTube page. Okay, Jeho Wasa. Okay, Jeho Wasa. Again, please continue to work on those assignments. Don't be discouraged if you're not done or you're still far behind. That's okay. Okay, I know we have students who have joined halfway through the term, for example. So again, please continue to work on those assignments. Please keep me informed as to your progress, where you're at. Again, if you have any difficulties, let me know. I will help you again, just like the way I help Ruth. Again, Ruth, thank you so much for joining again on a regular basis. It shows that you guys are working hard and it means a lot, and that's great. Okay. So again, continue to work on assignments. Once all those assignments are done, I will double check my spreadsheet, my mark sheet, and make sure that you're eligible to write the tests. Then you can set up a time and a date with your DEC as to when you want to write the tests. Okay, the sooner the better. Again, make sure you study, review the content, review the material, so that we're well prepared for the exam or for the test. Again, there's no surprises. All the materials that we have talked about throughout this 9 weeks um, can be or all fair game on your exam on a test. Okay. So again, just mind you have 2 hours to write it. Closed book, no notes, no devices. Again, it shouldn't take you more than 2 hours. Okay, we do give you 2 hours if you need it, but again, just a reminder, um, it shouldn't take you because it's pretty straightforward. Okay. Again, just a reminder, Term 1B starts in 2 weeks' time. There are no classes next week. Okay, no classes. However, I'm still in my office during my office hours. So again, if you need to get a hold of me, need some help, need some tutoring, anything in terms of PLARHG history and geography, let me know. I'm here to help. So I want everyone to be finished so that they can continue with their studies, with other courses. I know some students are taking more than one course at a time. So again, continue to work on those assignments. Okay. Again, are there any questions, any comments before we wrap things up? Again, I just want to say thank you so much to all my students who have been coming to the Learning Center, who have been participating online, wherever you may be, either at home, calling in, using the budget software, working on some assignments, checking out my previous lessons on my YouTube page. Again, thank you so much. It really means a lot. It shows that you care and shows that you're working hard. Again, don't be discouraged. Hard work does pay off. So again,